We're going to start off with disconnecting the machine from the wall. And now we're going to come up to these covers here and remove the screw in the center to gain access to the cover screws on the motor cover. Make sure you don't mix up these screws. Okay, now we're going to take off 7 screws from the motor cover. We're going to start off one back here, another one here, right on the front, right here, over here, and finally this one back here. Right now we can remove the cover. You can drop the screws in there, set aside. Alright, now we're gonna remove these covers. There's a screw down here. You can just loosen it up a little bit and it'll free the cover. Okay. Now set those aside. Alright, and we're gonna come in here and we're gonna mark, put a marker right up against that roller there and go on the frame and make a line. Alright, that's when we're gonna loosen this up and move this, gonna go forward to loosen up the tread, and that'll give us an idea when we're close to where we need to be. So again, it's gonna be the girth of the marker you use to go down. Alright, like that. We're going to do that to both sides. Okay. Alright, now we're going to get an Allen wrench and loosen this up here to release tension on the belt, on the walking belt, so that we can free up the front roller. Alright. Do that 3 or 4 turns at a time on each side. Do that 3 or 4 times. 1, 2, there. 3, 4 turns. That way you don't mess up the thread on the bolt. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, now we're going to take the Allen wrench and we're going to turn these bolts. We're going to loosen them up so the roller moves forward and releases pressure on the belt. And now we're going to do that in 4 full rotations on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go to the other bolt. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back to the other side and do another 4. That way the threads on the bolt don't get messed up by the roller being crooked. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check the belt. Still got a lot of pressure on it. Loosen it up more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that there's less pressure on it, we can go 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that looks like it's The belt's gotten more loose. I'm gonna go another 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, and that's good. The belt's very loose. All right, now we're gonna come up to the front, to the right side of the roller. So when you release the pressure in the back, it releases the front roller a little bit. So now what we're gonna do, come with the marker and mark the bolt. Put some red on the thread there so that we know that around that area is where it should be at. We'll do a final adjustment to the belt so that it's straight. All right, now we're gonna get that bolt out of there. Now, this is why I asked to shut the machine off. You can flip the switch in the front a few times, or even get the plug and ground it a bit so that there's no power left in the system. Because if you touch these, when it's plugged in, it'll shock you. So do all those things to prevent that. I'm gonna back out this screw here. You may be able to get it with your fingers if there's not too much pressure on it, to make it easier. Be mindful of the components here so you don't break them off. Okay, the bolt's out. Put that aside. Best way to get this roller out of the shaft hole, there's a hole here that the shaft goes into. Pull up the belt with your hand, grab the pulley wheel and push this way, or pull. That way you can do this, pull up on the tread belt and pull this way at the same time so it comes out of the shaft. There you go. That way you don't smash your fingers down in here. Okay, now you freed up the roller. Okay, now you can slip off the old belt. Okay. All right, now to get the new belt on, pick up the roller and thread the belt all the way across past the pulley and onto the roller. And install the other side onto the motor bell's pulley there. And insert the shaft into the hole. Now the hole, all right, there's the shaft from the roller and there's a hole in the frame that roller needs to get into, okay? We're gonna grab the roller and insert it into that hole, okay? All right, now we're gonna come to the opposite side and start threading the bolt back into the hole in the roller, or else once we get pressure on the belt, this will be very difficult. So we're gonna do it now. And we're gonna try to get it all the way across till it gets into the other bracket. If we don't thread this barrel into that other one, it'll be very difficult to do so later when there's pressure on the tread from the motor belt. Okay, so that should be good enough. Let's look for our little marks, the red. Okay, back it out a little bit. All right, there, it's all the way across. Now this is how we're gonna get the belt back onto the pulley. I recommend using something rounded, something that's not gonna hurt the other belt, the new belt. So make sure that this side of the belt stays on that pulley, and start threading the belt on the larger roller pulley and start helping it across. Be careful with your fingers there. You can get the other wrench, get the wrench and go down here. You see the belt on the bottom here? You can push that down as you're rolling it so it doesn't slip off. Okay, and I help that down there and roll the pulley back. You'll feel it once it starts catching. Just give it a turn. Okay, there, and it's on. It's on. We'll do an alignment to this in a little bit. All right, now we're gonna come over here, straighten out the belt. Okay, get that bolt. You see there's some pressure there. Okay, now in order to help us later, let's get this bolt into that hole. More of it in there. So that this roller doesn't flop around everywhere. There, it's held in place. All right, now we're gonna align the belt on the motor pulley. And we're gonna do that by applying pressure to the belt and turning it. All right, you see? We got the belt moved down the shaft there. And we're gonna make sure that this is working good there. We got a good mesh. All right, now we're gonna come back to the rear and we're gonna tighten up these bolts. 10 rotations each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we're going to come to the roller bolt and we're going to loosen that up. It might be a little tricky, but we gotta. This helped us out. Turning this one all the way in helped the alignment of it, or else we'd be trying to put pressure on this belt trying to get that bolt into the hole. So now we gotta turn it back. It might take a while. All right, we're gonna turn this. We're gonna back it out until we can see our mark that we made. Okay, we're gonna leave that right there. The bolt is still into this bracket here. Don't let it come out. It'll be hard to turn and align it. And we're gonna come to the back and turn these 5 times, 5 rotations. 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to come back to the front roller and we're going to back this bolt so we can see the marks that we made. Okay, I can see the mark that I made, and I'm going to leave it about there and then go toward the rear. All right, now we're going to come back to the rear bolts and we're going to turn these in 5 times increments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 5. All right, now at this point you may notice that the roller bar is at a different point of where the marks that you originally made, but that's fine though, because we're gonna now adjust the belt. The belt feels okay, it's rolling as it's I'm pushing with my foot. I could feel it that it's catching and it's not slipping. So now we're gonna turn on the machine. Okay, this is the final step. We're gonna plug in the machine and flip on the switch. And we're gonna start the machine at the first pace, at the first speed. All right, we can turn it up a little bit. This is so we can see where the current, where the belt is going towards in the current adjustment. Okay, so at the front top over there, it's going that way. So what we're gonna do is tighten up that bolt to make the belt go towards the left. Now be careful with the electronics. That's why take your time on this adjustment here. Okay, that looks good. That's enough. You can also kick the belt a little bit with your foot like that while it's rolling to straighten it out. All right, now come to the back of the machine and kick the tread with your foot. Plant it down on the deck and check for slippage. All right, you can see there that it's slipping. Okay, so now we're going to come here on the right side and we're going to give that one full turn. That's a half. And that's another half. That's a full. And now you see the belt came this way a little bit. Now we're going to come up to the left side. Give that one full turn. That's a half. And a half. That's a full turn. Okay. And it looks like we can go another full turn. On this side, you're going to do increments here. A half. And a full. Because if you do too many, you may go over. That is almost ideal. The idea is to get that slip to stop happening. Okay, so the belt has crept to the right. Now I'm going to do a full turn. So as you tighten these up, this roller is going to come outward and make the belt come this way. Same thing on this side. If you tighten this one up, it's going to pull the roller out and it's going to want it to roll that way. So when you have it just about right, it will align it. All right, now after that, we're going to check it again. There's still some slip. Let's do one full turn on this side since the belt is creeping to the right. It might be different for you when you do this. Okay, that's a full turn. Okay. We'll do 2 turns here. 1. 2 turns, and then 2 turns here. 1. 2 turns. Now check the belt tread again for slippage. Right, that's good. There's no slip. Okay, now with the belt at the rear adjusted properly, we're going to come up to the front and check the alignment on here. On this side, I have a gap. You may also. So to eliminate that, come in closer here and tighten up this bolt to bring it outward and make the belt go towards the opposite side. Okay, once again, be careful here so you don't touch that. And that's good. The belt is centered and adjusted to the proper tension. And that's how you swap the motor belt. Okay, final adjustments here. You see there's a gap there and no gap over here, so this roller needs to be tightened up on this side. So we're going to go 1/2 and a full turn. It's still there, so we're going to go 1 full turn. One more. And 1. There, the belt's straight. And Check the unit. Okay, if after those last adjustments, the belt, after walking on it, the belt went to one side, you can fix that. So since the belt, there's a big gap here, we're just going to back out this bolt one turn. That looks good. All right, depending on your belt alignment, if you need the belt to go to the right, you can loosen up the right bolt and tighten up the left one. Or if you need the belt to go to the left, you can loosen up the left one and tighten up the right bolt. Okay?